What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you've been keeping up with any of the shorts videos, you've seen that we were putting the forestry guards on the 86 to go do some mulching. So this is my first time mulching with the Bobcat machine. We did about 4 days worth down at site and just got it back, and I wanted to do a little review of what I thought about it on the running the mulcher, and talk about some issues that I had, and show you guys some stuff about it. So this mulcher is a Dennis Seamoff 180D. We were running this Bobcat. It's got super flow, which is like 42 gallons a minute, somewhere in there at 4,000 some PSI. And we were running it in super flow on this mulcher. We're hooked up here to the big 1-inch couplers. So the only other machine I've ever used mulching was the Cat 299, and it was an older one that my buddy has, and it ran this mulcher really good, but also it was deleted and it had a little bit of a tune on it. So being that his isn't stock, it's kind of hard to compare versus a factory Cat 299 compared to the 86. But I did feel like this one, it did good, but it just didn't have the power that the Cat seemed to have. So this one being 105 horsepower, he's probably got his tuned to like 125 or 130. That extra 20 horsepower really makes a difference. And I wish this machine would be about 125. So if you had running super flow, it could boost the engine up to 125 horsepower. I don't know if that's something they would ever do with the tuning on these on the factory side, but it sure would be nice. And also, one thing that probably made quite a bit of difference on his machine, we were just running the hoses out of the boom and then direct threading them, so there was no coupler to restrict flow. Now on the new Cats and some of the other machines that are used for mulching, they have the Stucci thread couplers in the block, so I may look at getting a set of those instead of these flat face where they just screw connect together, and that would help cut down on some of that restriction here at the coupler. But overall, it did pretty good. I was pretty happy with it for the most part out there on the job. But I did have a frustrating issue that happened like every 15 minutes. And I made a TikTok about this, and there was a few guys that told me I would have this issue. Literally, they said 15 minutes, and no kidding, it was about every 15 minutes. Is this screen right here will get grass stuck on it, tree leaves, and once it blocks these, it just keeps building up, and it'll give you an airflow restriction, and you'll have to stop and come out here and scrape this off. And I had talked about getting that pre-cleaner beforehand, but I didn't, because I spent $3 grand for the fops, the light guards, the extinguisher kit, and that rear door guard. And I didn't know how big of an issue this was, because I talked to a couple people at my dealer, and they said that they didn't really sell that many of them. They only sold like to 1 or 2 guys that actually put it on on their machines, and I've never seen any 86s with the pre-cleaner kit on it. But I opted not to get it because it's $1,300 for one, and so yeah, I just went and tried it with that, and yeah, it's a no-go. So if you plan on doing any mulching, definitely buy the pre-cleaner. Kind of sucks, you got to spend $1,300 to make the machine run like it's supposed to. I mean, I get the pricey fops kit and guards, but those are actually optional. I mean, you don't have to buy those. That's just your own personal preference, whether you want to protect your machine from tree damage or not. But having to spend $1,300 just to make the machine run, out there mulching is, I don't know. I don't like it. So I'm gonna probably have to buy that, another $1,300. I bought these guards. You've probably seen a video. If you keep up with the channel, I bought these tube line guards when I bought the machine, and I got the extra debris rubber seal kit, which is up here around the cab. There's some right here, and then there's some seals up front around the cab. And some of the earlier models didn't have the foam seal in here, and they sold those, but mine actually came with them. So we did about 4 days of mulching, and it didn't really collect that much debris. It did pretty good. Nothing really, everything pretty well fell out of the bottom, so I was pretty impressed with that. For the most part, I didn't have a bunch of buildup in here. Back here on the radiator, this was one thing I was really impressed with, is how cool it ran. Now, given it was only the hottest day we had out there, is probably what, 77 degrees, but the hydraulic temp never got over 160, 165-ish, and the engine coolant temp stayed around like 170, 180. So pretty impressed with the cooling capabilities. I think Bobcat's got that figured out, and not having to run an exterior cooler. Now, it may be a different story this summer if we do any more with it and it's 100 degrees out, because it gets pretty hot here in Oklahoma in the summertime. But overall, not a whole lot of debris in the engine bay. I was pretty happy with that. You know, they did a pretty good job. This back door has a rubber seal all the way around it. The radiator cover up here comes and lips over, so no debris falling in a crack. It all falls down. Another thing I like about this radiator is these holes in it are pretty big. So some machines, you know, they got small little holes, and these little sticks and stuff will plug them up in a hurry because they just get stuck in there. But I didn't get a whole lot of sticks stuck in there, which is good. I'll have to clean that off here after a while, but as you can see in here, the engine bay, I mean, there's a little bit of grass and sawdust down in the bottom, but not a whole lot for 4 days worth of mulching. The air filter, it was pretty dusty out there. It was somewhat windy. So if you mulch in the right direction, you can kind of cut down on how much dust you're sucking into the machine, but it stayed decently clean. The air intake screen up there is really the only problem I had on that part of it. This AC condenser stayed clean. AC stayed cold the whole time. DEF fluid, we used probably about 5 gallons, I'd say, so not too terrible on DEF. Running this thing wide open on Superflow, I was burning about 5.4 to 5.5 gallons per hour, so it did okay on fuel. Now I did put the 2 extra weights. I was running just 200 pounds, but I went ahead and put the 400 on here just for the fact that it sticks out away from the machine a little bit. So if you're maneuvering in trees or whatever, they will hit these instead of hitting up against the machine, but that's not necessary. I'll probably end up and go back to just running 2 counterweights just to cut down on some of the weight. But that mulcher weighs like 2,700 pounds, so it's well within the ROC of the machine without counterweights on that portion of it. Most of the debris was really easy to clean out of the tracks. The only place that it really stuck in here was kind of right in here, which these tend to collect quite a bit of stuff no matter what kind of terrain you're in. They get mud, and once it gets packed in there, it won't fall out. But I kept my backpack my backpack blower with me every day. I'd blow out the track frames, blow it off. Quite a bit of debris will collect right here behind the cab window. And we clean that off, just blow it off with my blower. So I'm gonna open the cab and see how much debris actually got in there underneath it since we put those seal kits on. So really not a whole lot. It did pretty good on keeping a lot of that out. I don't think that's too bad. Kind of a lot of grass. There was a lot of grass out there and Bradford pears in the thinner spots. Probably about 2 foot high grass and Johnson grass and stuff. But those seals, these extra seals here, all the debris flying off the mulcher and falling down, it pretty well did a pretty good job. So I'd say these are worth buying if you're mulching. So I didn't buy a Forestry door yet. I just rented this from my Bobcat dealer. The Bobcat Forestry doors are $5,000, which is astronomically high in my opinion. But this is 3/4 poly. I mean, it's kind of overkill for a skid steer, but it's extra safe, so that's the good thing about the 3/4. I'll probably get a 1/2-inch door or something for it eventually. But the thing with these doors is Bobcat has a serious problem with the door fitment issues. I don't know if this being a used door, if the frame or something's bent, but when I put this on, there was a huge gap up here. Like I could stick all 3 of my fingers through this gap, and I got out there and started going. There was just sawdust and grass and dirt just pouring in up here. So I had to stop, go to Tractor Supply, and I bought some weather stripping like that you put on your door, and put this all on my cab up here so that would seal off. Put a piece up here on this. It's kind of coming off, but it pretty well stopped it. But if I spent $5,000 on this door and it fit like that, I'd be pretty pissed off. So like I say, I don't know if you guys have a new door, a new Bobcat version of this Forestry door. I'm curious of how your door fits. But so it still even had the issue like my glass door where this seal right here, I mean, look at that gap. That don't even come close. That's like a 1/2 inch away from where it should be. I mean, it fits tight across the bottom, but right here, that's where my glass door had the fitment issues. But it wasn't near this extreme up top. Like I could have this door shut, and I even moved my striker plate all the way back so it would shut as hard as it could, and it's steel. You could just see daylight up through here. So I don't know what the deal is with their doors, but that really needs to get fixed. But the light guards did their job, didn't bust any headlights out, and I'm glad I got this FOPS deal for the roof, because I did mulch down a few dead trees, and as soon as you touch them, they tend to just snap off at the top and fall and hit the top of the cab. Luckily, they were just small ones that were dead and bounced right off, didn't even phase it. So down here, this pretty well stayed pretty clear of debris. There's a few, like right here, these got packed full, and this is hollow down through here, and there's an opening, and it's packed full of tree debris. I'll have to clean it out. I'd have a few sticks and stuff get stuck right here. A couple get up under here, but nothing too bad. This kind of collected a lot of debris right here behind the plate. These wires I thought were pretty protected, but I did have a stick find its way up under here and get stuck in there, but I got it out and it didn't do any damage, so it'd be nice if that actually came down and almost touched the bottom of that pipe going across. But anyway, that still held up pretty good. I was pretty happy with how clean that area stayed. So yeah, if you're getting a T86 to do some mulching with, I definitely 100% recommend getting that pre-cleaner and go ahead and buying that extra seal kit for the cab to help keep some of the debris out. So on this mulcher, we run all knives mostly. We sometimes get into a lot of rock, but you'll just have to kind of watch it. But they hold up pretty decent as long as you're not grinding on them. We run 4 carbides out here on the end just because, you know, you're not really mulching with this part of the drum. Most of your mulching is right here across the center. So yeah, we did pretty good here. Didn't get into hardly any rock. There was some random scrap metal, probably like you find at every other place. Hit a couple pieces of pipe and maybe a T-post that were stuck down in the ground that we couldn't see when we walked through it. But overall, not too bad, other than that air filter screen clogging up. So I just wanted to do a little overview and my thoughts on this machine, taking it out mulching for the first time. So I'll see you guys on the next one.